Welcome to Young at Art with Gilbert Young. I'm your moderator, Michelle Stepney. Today, Gilbert will be interviewing Atlanta-based artist Sammy Shepard. Now, let's get into the interview.
It's a great pleasure to introduce this next person that I know really well. I've been working with him for a while now. We had a mutual friend that introduced us, and I've been enthralled with his work ever since I met him, and we have been working together since then. So uh, we're going to find out more about this guy and see why he likes me or doesn't like me. It all depends. So he's going to tell a real story. I'll just stand back and listen to him and see what he says about me. And hopefully I won't have to hurt him at the end of the show. Hey, Sammy, how you doing?
Hello, Mr. Young. How you doing?
All right, man.
All right, all right.
All right. Tell me something about, first of all, most artists has a vision of what they would like to do at a young age. Is that your story too? Tell me something about that.
I've always been creative, but I never really tapped into the creative energy that was in my DNA. I had my young son on the belt line. They had all this art on the belt line in Atlanta. It's just full of art. They had this big murals, about 4 times as big as this piece in the background back here. And it said it took 4 communities to do that piece of artwork. But me, myself, I recycled metal, and everything that I had tucked to the scrap iron yard, I saw it on that mural in the background. And something went off in me and said, oh man, you can do this. So from that point, I just started taking everything that I would pick up off the street and putting a conceptual idea to it, and it just came up creating these pieces of art that's animated, Star Warish, Men in Black. I said, man, look at this stuff here. And it was everything that you just see laying on the street. So my interest in art beginning to drive deeper and deeper. Now I got this eternal flame that's burning in me. It's burning, it's burning. So I started looking and saying, well, what kind of artist are you? And based upon me picking up everything out the street, it can be organic, it can be man-made. It don't make a difference. If I see it, I can see somewhere where it can go into the art. So I said, oh, well, I'm like the old folks in the country and the people in Africa. They just take what they got and use it and turn it into art. So I looked at the definition, folk art. That's who I am. That's my foundation. But because of the material that's available in this day and time that we live in, my creativity, it allows me to flow from not just one particular art style, but it allows me to be urban, which would be something to this right here. Or it would allow me to be contemporary, which would be this piece here. And it don't stop there. It's still many more art styles that I have that the availability of materials just allow me to free flow into artwork. And then you look at the culture that we live in, the movies, once again, the music. I can tie my artwork into all of this and make a particular statement in a lot of different ways in some of my artwork, Mr. Young, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think that a lot of people out there who will view your artwork will see the life that you give into these found objects and how you put all the materials together. And that's one of the things that I admire about what you're doing. And it's kind of like you're a folk artist that is contemporary and urban at the same time, and that's what I enjoy about it. And the colors that you use, the natural colors, the browns, the copper. You say you get energy from using a lot of copper in your artwork and in your composition. So you know, that's the artist side. What's the fun part about it? What's the fun part? You know, what makes you want to go to work every day and want to do something? What is the real fun part about doing what you do?
The fun part of it, this is a perfect example, in my opinion. This guy's called Badass Gatekeeper of the Man Cave. Now, you know, most macho men, you know, they want to have him a bad gatekeeper. You see what I'm saying? You don't start nothing, won't be nothing. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's fun for me. You know, now, if you was to take this guy off of the back and turn him into an animated character, he could fit into any movie that's on the screen today, you know. I mean, any of them. And that's the fun part. Like I say, I see the characters in Star Wars, the characters in Men in Black. This art will fit directly into that arena, and it just flows out of me, and it's fun, man. It's fun. People see this artwork and they get a laugh, they get a kick out of it. And when I'm doing my art, I like to try to put energy into it that a lot of my artwork have moving, the copper wires moving, the little nose will bounce or the eyes will move, and it has energy in it, and people laugh. He has a piece right now in his house that pretty serious piece, and it's gonna make you laugh, man. When you see it, you don't have no choice. You got to laugh at him because he's full of energy. So just to be able to put that energy into the art and extract pure joy out of it. It's a feeling on the inside that you can't measure by money. It's just empowering of your soul and of your spirit when you can create something like that and people appreciate it.
Is it now when you're an artist, you always have to deal with putting your artwork out there and sometimes getting a critique by people like me, and then there's the public. Okay, so is it fun when people talk about your artwork? How do you feel?
It's definitely fun because being a self-taught artist, I've only been doing art about 3 or 4 years now, and a lot of people who are experienced in looking at your particular style of art, the professionalism or the rawness of the art, they will critique you, and you know, they make some comments that you don't necessarily agree with, but in the desire, in the process to grow, to become a better artist, you take that criticism and see if in fact that you can find some growth within that criticism. And that's how I deal with it. You know, when I met you, that's how I started out, you know, but I didn't get an attitude, you know, based upon some of the things you were saying, which I may have been in disagreement with at the time that you were saying it. But, you know, I kept an open mind, and in keeping that open mind, then I was able to find growth not only in the process, but in the techniques of creating art and bringing about a balanced piece of artwork that, if I had not been open to what it was, your criticism of what you thought could be better, then.
But you know, whenever you put out a piece of artwork, everybody judges your artwork. Not just me, but everyone does. They like it, they don't like it, or it has no effect on them. So, another question. Do you do artwork for yourself, enjoyment, or do you do artwork for other people to enjoy?
Pretty much all the above.
So you like the idea of doing artwork that people enjoy,
Yes,
and you enjoy doing it.
absolutely.
Okay, so so that puts you in a very vulnerable position And I think that all artists are in that position of vulnerability, because you have to be open to criticism, but one of the things that happens, I think, is that there's a bunch of people that I call ooh wee, that's pretty, and ooh wee, that's pretty people will say it's pretty, but they have no understanding why it is pretty to them. So what happens then? What do you do?
That's a good question there, Mr. Young. It's gonna take me a minute to come up with a suitable answer for that. It's pretty, but why is it pretty to you? What aspect of this particular artwork that's appealing to your pleasurable side? That would be possible one of the questions that I would ask them to try and get a better understanding of what it is that's appealing to them within this piece of artwork. And once, I get an answer, then I can take that answer and try to dissect it to see where the growth is.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. Here's one the problem. In our face, they lie to us. It's very few times that they tell us the truth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so they just say, "Oh, that's great," and then they go on like, "Listen, why he did that?" So like my role right now with you has been that I'm a mentor to you, and hopefully give you some guidance of some of my experiences and so on. So that's important, and not to take all the accolades serious, like, oh, that's so beautiful, and because that's what we have to do. And here's our biggest problem: you always have to eat. You may like it, and you don't buy it, and we don't eat. I guess that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't get into the art game, because it is a very difficult game.
Yes.
To sell to the consumer who doesn't understand that how important art is to their existence. So what would you do on a personal level to try to increase their knowledge about what is needed in our society?
When you look around, let's just say the streets are your city, the country, as in countryside, or living in the country, other countries that you have visited, but more on a personal level, your home. You go in your home, you walk in your yard, if there's not a plant there to look at to give you some kind of visual interpretation of a thing that's, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but you got to have something there than just plain and dull nothingness. Plants, trees, flowers, birds. These things are all part of who we are. So if we don't have that, then we're losing a whole bunch of life. We're losing a whole bunch of life. Now you go and continue into the house. You get into the house, all your walls are naked. Is a house a home? In your opinion, you know about this, huh?
Yeah.
Huh? What'd you say? What's your answer?
Well, I agree with you, because your environment does reflect who you are, and the appreciation of what you appreciate is normally somewhere around it. But listen, Sammy, this is not the last time we're going to get together. So I thank you for coming up here and showing off your work and being a part of my first
Join us next week for more behind the scene talk with Gilbert Young and Young at Art.